Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and this is Deep Astrology, your weekly astrology forecast for the week of September 30th through October the 6th of 2020. Make sure that you say rabbit, rabbit on that October the 1st. I think we're going to need that good luck rabbit, rabbit more than ever for this October of 2020. Thanks so much for being here on HighVibe.tv. This is the exclusive network that carries this show and many others, of course, exclusive shows that I do here on HighVibe.tv. But especially with Deep Astrology here, if you want this show in its full format, live, and you can get it with the second part where I go deep into the charts, where you see the charts and not just get the audio. Make sure that you are a member now. We got a 7-day free trial and, of course, super cheap rates. And it's all at HighVibe.tv. Make sure that you go there right now. And, of course, right now, this is where I am finishing out this sale of all of my astrology course schools in different formats, like the Love Masterclass. That's 10 different full class forms, 4-hour videos each. Then, of course, my Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. There's about 15 videos that are hour each. Sometimes, I mean, there's so many videos. And, of course, my Spiritual E-commerce Business School, all in one package called Ride the Waves Package. Make sure that you go to highvibetvschool.com to get this final end to this big sale that is going on right now to get all my schools all in one place, all at a very discounted rate. Now, if you never watched the show before, this is your weekly astrology forecast where I'm going to go deep into the charts brought to you by Astro Gold, which are, of course, on all Mac devices. And if you're on PC, make sure that you go to Solar Fire. But I'm also going to channel the horoscopes right now for you. I just switched it up on you. I know that, you know, if you've been watching this show for years, you're like, what? Well, the universe is definitely switching things up for us because, yes, it's a full moon in Aries. We're going to get to that. But the reason why I'm saying that is Pluto comes direct on Sunday, the 4th of October. And think about last year's Pluto direct at the beginning of October. Pluto loves that 6-month journey direct and loves that 6-month journey retrograde. Look at the 6 months from October of 2019 until, I think it was Pluto went retrograde. It was either, I think it was April, May, right there, end of April, beginning of May of 2020. So, not the most fun transformation of the world. Of course, it was a Pluto that was going to have Saturn meet with it. That was in the midst. Whereas we're going to see a Jupiter-Pluto for the last time here for another 13 years. That is going to meet with Pluto during this Pluto direct transit coming into next year, into 2021. So I hope you're all prepared and saying goodbye to... Ironically, I know that it's been a crazy year, but if you really, kind of take a look at the Pluto transit, the intensity or sometimes, of course, the fears, which are projected even more intense with Saturn and Jupiter in the same sign with Pluto, of Capricorn, of control and all this stuff, and now Saturn's direct in Capricorn. This would be a gnarly, situation that's showing up here to radically transform our lives, your structure, the choices to make, your destiny. This is going to be the last time that Pluto comes direct with Jupiter and with Saturn in Capricorn for the rest of our lives and for at least a good multiple hundreds of years. So, it's not just some Pluto direct. No, it's a big deal. Now, everybody, of course, wants to talk about this full moon in Aries. That's with Chiron in Aries. And it's, of course, the sun in Libra. Now, this is not the most easiest of full moons. I'm going to be honest with you. The reason why is because if we look at this astrology, Mars Retrograde is in Aries. And it's squaring Saturn that just went direct in Capricorn. So that's been this big clash. And on the presidential debate night was when we saw the exact square hit. And of course, that was like a crazy train wreck, And so with Pluto coming direct, with this full moon that's before that Pluto direct, that's going to be on Thursday, it's like on October the 1st, the way to start the month is with a big bang, a full moon in Aries, the sign that rules Mars. Mars is in that sign. It's the ruler of that sign, and it's retrograde, and it's stressed. Squared Saturn, of restriction and not going the way maybe things we thought we wanted it to go. And with Chiron being there, this is opening up all of the wounds of the way that life is not the way that we want things to be. And I thought it was very interesting. There was an article that came out today, and I think it was CNN, and it did say, I think it was like a lot of different scientists and people come together and said, the world will never come back the way it ever was. Like, I hope you're ready for the new normal. And it was actually a bunch of psychologists that said, they're having to let people know that you should say goodbye to the last form of life as we knew it and anything prior of January of 2020. And I thought that was so crazy with the astrology, of course. And days before Pluto comes direct here, and as this full moon in Aries is going to cover the wounds that we have on top of Chiron in Aries. So I also want to remind people that with Mercury in Scorpio, it's getting ready to oppose Uranus this week, and it's going to station and start opposing Uranus for a while. So I'm just preparing people for the most out of control, what in the heck is going on, trying to understand the truth in your life, while also having to realize, okay, in order to find the truth, in order to advance your life and to feel better, you're going to have to really go into your deep, deep feelings. You're going to have to reveal parts of the shadows in your life. The shadow work is intense right now on the planet with Mars retrograde already, and it's squaring over to Saturn. With a full moon in Aries, it's a big bang, right? It's all this Martian energy. And this is the Earth literally starting to pass Mars. That's why we're in a Mars retrograde. So it's really close. So we're already energetically overhyped with Mars. We got the moon and the Earth facing Mars, and we're right in Mars' face. And I keep saying it's like Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're like, get your butt to Mars. You know what I mean? It's just like too much. And so this is going to cover a lot of that energy. And I do want to remind people that Venus in Leo, that's been somewhat of a moment to help us through a lot of this, leaves and comes into Virgo right away this week. And oh no, Venus is the one place that when it's in Virgo is not happy. It's at its fall position with the sun in its fall position. At least with Venus in Leo, we had a mutual reception going on, right? The sun in Libra would rather be, of course, with changed spots with Venus that was in Leo. And Venus in Leo would be like, okay, I'd switch. Venus would rather go home to Libra, and the sun would rather go home to Leo. So that's what a mutual reception is. So at least they kind of are relatable to each other. And so we've had this relationship and love situation, or just creative and harmony and love. We've had some of those places to kind of escape from the craziness of the radical world changes that we're having to accept and go through. And there's a hidden element, the shadow. Mars retrograde square Saturn, and now it's getting ready to start to square Pluto by the end of this week as it comes direct. Same situation, right? We just had Saturn come direct on Tuesday. On the 29th of September, Mars retrograde squared at the exact same time here on October 4th. Pluto direct, and Pluto's a lot slower than Saturn. So it's like Pluto comes direct, it takes a couple days to even move anywhere, and then Mars retrogrades next week and slams into Pluto. All while the North Node in Gemini moves to 22 degrees of Gemini, and Pluto and the North Node start to make their inconjunction, that quincunx. Our destinies are at one, overcoming weird issues of the fear of loss through control systems or control over ourselves or losing control in our minds. And I'll be very frank. Our spirituality and the state of our mind is all we really have in life for balance, harmony, because with Jupiter this week in a sextile Neptune, Neptune comes back to 18 degrees. It's going to come to its stationary degree where it will come direct. It's not coming direct right now. But this 18 degree mark is an important one because with Jupiter coming to 18 degrees of Capricorn, it's going to make that sextile. We have doorways that we can reach our ethereal, in our spiritual selves, but we have to be able to understand that these are tough times and know how to stay positive through them. And with Pluto making a quincunx to the North Node, we have to be in a good state of mind, and we have a weird, creepy crawler cockroach that's coming up, Pluto, to meet with Saturn and Jupiter and to enact a hidden force that we all can feel of control, of all the things that have been not making sense to all of us, and having to put our faith into our intuition, having to put that the positive results come from when we realize that the only control system that can really come about is whether or not you allow that control from entities other than spirit to control you. That's the lesson. That your mind has to create its own unique and special way of interpreting this reality by looking outside, not just the box, but looking outside this plane of existence and stepping into that ethereal self to get a better understanding through not getting caught up into your ego's Aries, victim, Mars retrograde, shadow shit going on. And also the hope and the dreams of just harmony and balance that will just naturally just come when there's so much against that at the moment. Venus and Virgo can help, of course, even though it is at fall position. So we have the two benefics, Jupiter and Venus, in their falled positions. So Venus and Virgo, Jupiter and Capricorn. So with South Node at 22 degrees of Sag, I'm just going to be real. It's like this is the benefic energy offline. So the South Node is Sag, and that's just making that Jupiter energy not that happy. Now you add the Sun in Libra, and Libra is the ruler of Venus, and Venus is coming into Virgo. It does pass Regulus, though, when it leaves Leo. So the service that we have as all light workers and all people that are awake in love and awake to spreading positivity onto the planet, it is our jobs to be the ones, even while we're dealing with our own crazy crap, to still step forward in the reality and to not be scared. Because if you're going to be scared at any point of this whole entire astrology of life right now, just in general, that's what the astrology says, like that affects your destiny, that affects your mind, and it affects, and it's okay to be, fear is part of life, I get it, but it's always a false expectation appearing real. And a lot of this right now is a cockroach coming up, and it's 100% in Capricorn, right? It's this control system, it's political, it's everything trying to convert you into a moral compass, that this is that moral compass. And ironically enough, if we're going to talk about two sides, because we're in North Node Gemini, it's neither. Both those moral compasses are out like twin snakes to try and wrap around your soul and squeeze you. There's good and bad from both moral compasses that we need to try and find the both good from good. But there's that third eye. There is that higher perspective, that ethereal self that is trying to come through for us this week. And that's, I think, as well why Mercury in opposition to Uranus offers us to see that the hunger and the things that we need in our life come from us looking in odder places that will actually bring us the quality we deserve and that we need, and that we have things to fulfill in our emotions and things that we have to try and understand about how to survive in life, which is not based upon being able to see all the weird fears there is everywhere and all the creepy fingerprints of the dark that is going to be literally full blown with all three in Capricorn, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, projecting those fingerprints out. And Mars retrograde, that's like the collective's like hero or the identity of all of us trying to almost fight against that in a way from whatever moral compass that we have been subliminally injected with. But maybe what about this other dimensional identification though, of not getting lost? Like you have to admit, we all have gotten deeply embedded in all this stuff. It hasn't been us though. There is a toxic tainting of the collective consciousness right now. And all it has to do is just infect multiple individual souls in the collective, and with different opposing thoughts, that everything that's coming down to it is forgetting humanity and from the basics of humanity, not from the ideas set forth by places that have what they project as the all-knowing. When it's you as your own human have to make your own determination, because you are part of the collective consciousness, and it is within you and that collective that is within all of us that we determine the understanding of these things, not some group or not some higher place that's in our physical realm. Anything that is being told to you or anything that is being shown to you right now that looks like it will be this way, the irony in all this is it won't go that way. And that's just coming from the astrology. That it's the hidden stuff that we're about to start to be revealed with the truth. And that could be scary, because what is not seen and not known is scary unless you enact Gemini North Node. The curiosity that my cats have if I put them into a new house. They might be a little scared, but they ain't going to run into the bed. The curiosity of you when you are a child and you see a new game that people are playing and you want to go play. Might be a little timid and scared at first, but once you start playing, it's the best thing you ever did. So, this is a moment for us to step out of our fears. This is a moment for us to also remind ourselves of the full moon in Aries. We have to find courage, but not courage that's based upon that victim inside, but the one that wants to show up and allowed to be vulnerable and allowed to admit its own fault. And yeah, I've been on courses of life that maybe did not resonate, or that I identified with my ego that I thought was it, and it wasn't. It's okay if ships move and move and move, and you don't stay on the same ship, but at least you're going in the right direction. And I think that's the hard part about all this, is like, even channeling that gave me just there a moment of, whoa. Because for a lot of people right now, it might feel like you're going in such a direction and then you're having to be thrown off this ship. So it's a lot like off with the plank, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, okay? Doesn't mean that you can't swim to the ship and be scared. That actually invites you in more. And also not one that is convincing you, but one that naturally already knows. One that naturally already embraces from harmony and peace and love and isn't trying to convince you. Pluto is a manipulator. So when it's with Jupiter and it's with Saturn, these are hidden manipulation tactics. This is the last time you'll see this in our lives. And they're trying to set the course for the next, if you want to throw in the next time we're going to see Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn and with Jupiter, we're talking about half a century here at least. So do we really want to, half a millennium. But you can use just Saturn and Pluto the next time they meet, which will be in Pisces in 36, 37 years. So do we really want to go through this for this next? Do we really want to turn into that movie, Ready Player One? I don't know if you remember what it looked like. It's within the collective right now's job to find the courage and the leadership within yourself, as a leader within yourself, to restore balance and harmony on the planet that we can't look because these are making, not exact, but it is making enough of a square to Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn direct that it is like, doesn't the people of the world have control of the world, not some sort of weird force that is hidden that is trying to enact this idea that, you somewhat don't? You have no power? Like, no power. It's opposite of, I will heal you. You have all the power. It's like, no, you have no power. You're the cause of the world being so messed up, too. You're walking this, and you are just toxic being on the planet as you are, in the way that you live. Really good manipulation tactic. So, to end this channeling session, which I'll be honest with you, the fact that I got to a place of actually feeling the uncomfort so much, which I'll be honest, it's been a while since I felt that. It's been since the 2012 through 2015 Pluto-Uranus squares that I would channel horoscope and I'd be like uncomfortable. And it was weird because last night I felt very uncomfortable doing the horoscope. I'm going to be honest with you because I give you this horoscope for my truth. I'm uncomfortable about this week, but I can't be afraid. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to adjust to the vibes. It's okay to even look weird as you're adjusting to them. That's Chiron. It's okay if the identity is not exactly the way of anything that you want it to look like. It's okay. It's okay that Mars is retrograde. It's okay if we don't feel like we're in our power. It's okay if we don't feel like we won in the way that we wanted to yet. It's okay if we've lost the battles. We haven't lost the long-term. I don't even want to say the word, but I want to say that we have won the ultimate light, that we have not lost in ourselves. It's the identity and the character that are on the line and within yourself, and that avatar that you want to create. And do you even want to make it an avatar for a virtual reality show? I said virtual reality show, not reality show. That is being put upon everybody right now? Are we really going to go be like the Matrix and actually go put ourselves in another alternate reality? How far until we get back to our real ethereal self? How many virtual realities have we brought ourselves down into? Like, that is the big question with this Pluto direct. It's revealing that much. And in the Helio, Mercury, of course, if we look at the sun from the center of a chart, or if you just look up astronomy-wise, Jupiter and Saturn are starting to get ready for their conjunction already. I know that in Geo, from Earth's point of view, it's not going to be till December 21st of 2020, okay? But Helio-wise, Jupiter's at 29 degrees Capricorn. Saturn's at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And Mercury is coming into all this. Mercury leaps 4 degrees a day. So this full moon will be Mercury on top of Pluto. It will be Mercury then crossing over Saturn, Jupiter, and this really rough area in the sky. So I'm just preparing people that the environment of the world, the environment of the universe, are both aligning and uncomfortable. And so when you get our, as Michael Erlewine says, an amazing astrologer, the dharma of not only yourself, but of the universe, right? And our solar system. And then you get Earth's karma, or experience, and both are in a radical, extreme, edgy form, and they're both starting to sync up. That's like the highs and the bass notes starting to hit. If you know anything about astrology, it's a lot like in astrology we use progressions, secondary progressions, right? Every year that you've been alive, we move the chart 1 day forward, right? So if you're 35 years old, you move the chart 35 days. And that's like a bass note. And so when the transits hit your chart, and those progressions happen to be hitting your chart at the same time, and there's aspects to them, it's like, kabam. And that's what I'm trying to tell you what this week is. It's kabam, kabam. And it's all compressing. So we are in a compression zone. And I like how even my guides brought you to that understanding of this twin kind of serpent energy wrapping around your soul and kind of holding you in. And with the two mouths like, ah. I know it's dramatic. But it's up to you whether or not you're going to allow yourself to fall for the victim within yourself and fall for the manipulation of the morals and the ways and the unwritten laws of how it should look. South Node and Sag. And with the Benefics offline, or at least they're online, they're just not really providing much. Venus in Virgo doesn't provide much comfort. It provides a lot more stress, because if things don't look the way that we want to, or it's not as beautiful as we want, and it doesn't look perfect, we're not going to feel as good. Relationships get very critical. Mercury opposing Uranus. Our minds are going to definitely be tested on whether or not we can revolutionize and within ourselves, or is the voice of the collective not going to be heard as well? That's another question, just kind of randomly. I mean, let's just say there's a social network out there that is putting out a new policy October 1st. So, the information that we get, are we going to, with the Uranus opposition to Mercury, that this is going to be all month, folks. Are we going to listen to the universe? Or are we going to try and listen to a message against the collective? Because we know that the highest of highs is for the collective always. And that's the question is, we all have to do our own detective work. Pluto, quincunx North Node in Gemini, Mercury opposing Uranus. So that makes Mercury oppose Uranus even a bigger deal as it's starting to stop and slow down. But the biggest news is how I told you about Mercury and Helio crossing over the big three. It's interesting when I show you right now in the 3D chart what that actually looks like, so I can help you understand better why this full moon is no joke. You must find the courage, and you must find the identity, and you must find the love and the happiness and the balance to find your identity and your character that you define through your own mind, through your own calculations, and not one that is subliminally being projected upon you now that Neptune is starting to square the nodes. We are just 4 degrees away from that. And this is going to be the most radical virtual reality show for the next 4 months that we've ever seen in our lives. And I just want to prepare you to watch it with not being glued on to the virtual reality goggles that are being forced upon people where they're not going to pull them off. It's a lot better to always be in a position, since we are near the rat. Do you want to be a rat trapped in a cage trying to fight your way out, or would you rather be a rat outside the cage but at least running and trying to stay from getting put in the cage? Two really not fun situations, but as a rat, I can tell you, a rat Leo, definitely I'd rather be outside the cage, keeping that way, opposed to being stuck in the cage and not having as many options to get out. Let's take a look at the charts. Well, we're going 3D. I'm getting out of Sprite. I can tell you this is looking crazy. So the reason why I started here is, like, you could see way out there on the horizon line, Saturn and Jupiter. See Jupiter to conjunct. But what is there on the other side of the sun? Oh, is that Mercury? Gave you guys a little high there. A little Mercury high. Mercury! So we're going to see this week. I'll zoom out so you can see in a different way, right? So let's just play. And let's just go time forward in hours. And I'll show you that Mercury. So here we are, October 2nd. Here we are on the 3rd. right? And see how it's passing those big three that quick. That's how fast Mercury goes. Now, what's over here? Look at October 4th, right? When Pluto comes direct. So Mercury will be with, looking at from the sun's point of view, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, right? See that? It's going to be past that already. But what's going to be the most interesting is look at, from Earth's point of view, this is the pass. See that? So I'm going to show you, like, let me actually come from around this way. All right. So see Earth starting to pass Mars. See that? This week we're getting that energy, that's the pressure and the buildup. And let's go to that full moon real quick, which is going to be on October 1st. Okay? So it's going to be exact right here. See that? How it's exact? But see Mars, it's going to be a little bit cocked to the left when you actually see it out at night. Okay? You'll see the full moon, then you'll see Mars to technically the east side. If you're looking up at the sky, it'll be east. And that is funky, right? So the moon and Earth are very close to Mars. Gosh, if you had a spaceship right now, this would be the time to launch. Well, I guess technically it depends on the timing. Maybe you would have wanted to launch, like, I don't know, but put it this way. I definitely don't work for NASA. But we are at quite a week to come into here. Also, Venus is going to be moving out of Gemini where it's been and moving into Cancer, not in Geo, of course. It's moving into Virgo and Geo, but it's starting to move to the zones to where we saw eclipses in the zone, and we also did see a lot of weird stuff in the Geo. Especially, I think, we did see Comet Neowise come in at 29 Sag, 0 Cancer, and Venus this week will actually cross in those zones in Helio. So the relationship front and also the emotional front, dealing with our wants and needs, is pretty extreme. Mercury, of course, and Uranus, that opposition that's coming up from Earth's point of view is right here. See it? So see Mercury right here? I'm giving you a little three-dimensional view. There's look at, we're looking up the butt of the universe. Look at, see that? So as this full moon is starting to go down, look at Mercury and Uranus. But here, let's bring that more exact into view by the end of the week, by this 5th and 6th. There's Mercury opposed Uranus. Look at that. So Mercury looking at the Earth, and with Mars right there too. And look at Uranus. Boom. That's how astrology is looked at. So from Earth's point of view, it's Uranus opposed Mercury. I know that some people know this. Believe it or not, in the astrology community, especially this Instagram astrology community, gee, many Christmas. Like, what the hell's going on with you guys? Like, you guys need like teach people some astrology. You know what I mean? Come on, you need to know the science too. I can't anymore. I can't. I know, I'm getting a little Capricorn old man here for a second. I'm 36 years old. I'm like, my nodal return, I'm like, in Gemini, I'm like, gosh, come on, Instagram astrologers, gee, many Christmas. I'll be honest, I cannot stand them, but I have to learn. I'm not gonna demoralize right now the collective. Of course, I'm gonna have my frustrations, Mars square Saturn, like any of us are right now with lots of things. But they are brothers and sisters in astrology. And I'm sure that there's ways that they might be like, you're too extreme. So I get it. I might be like, okay, maybe I'll calm down for you once in a while, But I think it is important, though, with Northern and Gemini for us to all get truth and to see things from all different angles. And that's what Uranus this week is doing. And I know that Pluto is the big deal. And so just real quick, let's finish this Pluto thing. Because this is the big deal, is when we do on the 4th come to Pluto direct. It's because of where Earth is turning that it looks like, because the way we've been passing Pluto, right? All the last 6 months, right? So you go back. So Pluto's always going to stay right here. Okay, we went through actually during all the crazy eclipse season, right? And Earth passing all that. So when Pluto went retrograde, it looked like it was going backwards because we're coming forward. See that? So it's like we're passing Pluto. Now, ironically, when we get to this October 4th, what's really weird to me is it also means that Mars has come out of a Pluto retrograde as well. Longer though. It would mean that on Mars goes through Pluto retrograde for a year, I would say, based off knowing how Earth works. And this has been some of the weird secret shit I've been working on in the background. And even, I wasn't even gonna share this shit tonight, but think about it. Let's actually just show you real quick. So if that's the place, I'm sorry, Craig. If that's the place where Pluto is, way up there, right? Okay. If Mars is a year to come around half the zodiac, so that means that when Mars reaches about where Earth did, so let's see where Earth did this year. It was in April when Pluto went retrograde, right? So that means when Mars would be right around here. That's November of 2019, okay? Possibly because of just how farther out Mars is. It could even be a little bit later. Like, yeah, like I would say maybe that July, November, somewhere in there. So it's been almost a year, but like this whole Mars coming around, it's been Pluto retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Pluto retrograde, and now where Earth is starting to see, oh, of course, this stupid system. Get ready, Mercury's coming retrograde on the 13th. For just crap show to nonstop. I mean, with your opposition to Uranus, if there was going to be any time where we're going to see electrical issues, computer issues, internet issues, all that, I hope you're prepared. I don't know if you guys got the text message in the last week. I haven't even asked anybody here at High Vibe, but I've been getting a lot of text messages lately from, I'm with T-Mobile, and it's been very interesting. And they've been sending these weird text messages saying like, we are doing everything we can for when the power goes out to provide you service. Are you prepared for that? I'm like, no. Yeah, here. There are safety measures you can take in anticipation of emergencies and disasters, and a list of efforts T-Mobile is taking to keep our network operational during such events. For info, go to cawirelessemergencyprep.com. California wireless carriers prepare for declared emergency events. No, I am not that letter in the alphabet that everybody's getting lost in. To finish where I was at, we would want to take a look at, again, why this is so unique with this Pluto, because of the fact that it's coming direct for the last time with these two, Jupiter and, oh, no. Doesn't want you all to look that way, so we're going to be going in the charts right now, but just to finish that. Pluto now is saying goodbye to Jupiter and Saturn. Go have a nice time meeting up, and I have given you all of my cockroaches. I've given you all my hidden stuff in Capricorn. I've given you everything that you want. Whatever you wanted, I gave you it all. So it's a hidden agenda that has been delivered. Go take this to this new world they're trying to go create. Jupiter and Saturn and Aquarius? Go take those. Because if you remember in Helio, and you know what, I'll show the YouTubers right now just the Helio chart. Like, you know, I'll just show them it. Okay. That here's for the full moon. Here's Jupiter and Saturn. This is Saturn at the beginning of Aquarius, just entered a couple weeks ago. And then here's Jupiter now at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So they're about to meet. And I don't know if you all know when they're going to meet, but they're meeting right after that new moon. 2 weeks from now. Which I've already said is going to be the craziest new moon in our lives that we've ever seen. We've never seen a crazier new moon than what's coming. And it's not even an eclipse. But the other thing that I wanted to show you, so you saw the 3D, but this is the 2D. It helps out a lot to see both. But it's Mercury, 23 degrees, going to meet with Pluto on this full moon. Talk about hidden messages. When was the last time Mercury and Pluto met? Well, geo-wise, Mercury and Pluto met with Saturn on January 12th of 2020. Now, the Helio versions happened many times over since Mercury goes every 88 days around the sun. But it'd be interesting to actually take a look, which you should join High Vibe, and I'll do that this week for the people on my dailies. I always go a little farther sometimes with stuff all the time. And what days did Mercury and Pluto always meet over this last year? I might already know all this. But in true Pluto fashion, I'm not going to let you know. If you do want to join highvibe.tv, join right now. We're going to go where we look deep into the charts, but we will turn audio if you are on YouTube. We're going to have a great time looking at a lot of crazy stuff that I know you will not find it anywhere else. Make sure that you join today, 7-day free trial, and of course, 3 different awesome payment plans to make it happen, monthly, 3-month, or 6-month plans, and it's super cheap. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. Let's go deep into the chart. So let's take a look at today, which is Wednesday, September 30th of 2020, and we are prepared for this full moon in Aries. The sun finishing at 8 degrees. Venus here is getting ready to finish in Leo. I am happy, though, that the Venus will be in Leo for the full moon, but it is finishing its time in Leo here and getting ready for Virgo. And that's kind of a bummer, because if we look at the essential dignities here, you know, Venus being in Leo has been pretty happy, +6. I will show you when Venus goes into Virgo what's going to go down. With Jupiter being in Capricorn, you know, it's one of the lowest rated planets because it's at fall position. So the Benefics have had Venus that's kind of helped us. So if you got to start, you know, healing yourself emotionally, emotional wounds, big situations about partnerships, relationships, love, I'd freaking do it on this full moon, because Venus comes into Virgo and we're not going to have a lot of benefic energy, folks, at all. And we have the malefic energies. We have Pluto coming direct on Sunday. We have Mars square to Saturn. That's malefic, and Mars is malefic in its retrograde. And the full moon's going to cross over the malefic planet of Mars retrograde and square Saturn. And you're going to see Mars getting ready to square Pluto. So it's Malefic City. And if Maleficent was, if we were going to live in the world and it was her castle, oh, she's walking out with her little stick and she's got her green little magic and she's out to play. Have you thought about that one yet? Or have you just thought Battle of the Gods was a joke? Not a joke on a full moon in Aries either, with the malefic energy preparing for its most malefic attacks on the collective. Don't even forget that Mars is with Aries and Black Moon Lilith. This is not good. Sorry to say. It is shadow work at its finest. People will do anything. Literally, like, I'll call out Trump. Trump will do anything. He'll literally, fuck the debate. Like, I'm going to say what I want. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? If the president can do that, what do you think other people are going to be doing? You got to see that's a reflection of, like, what's going in the collective. And not, especially with the full moon on Chiron, it's not to blame one person. Of course, you can call people out, but we have to call all of ourselves out. Like, uh-oh, that means that's a playing out within the collective. Maybe not in that exact way, but could even be other ways. You have to take all that in consideration here. Here's that Pluto slammed between Saturn and Jupiter and ready to come direct on Sunday. So it's not moving. Like if we look at Pluto, start this week off on Wednesday here. Look, it's only doing 6 seconds a day. It is doing nothing. So there is a stillness that I think that if you were hanging out with Aurora or Prince Philip, the day that she turned 16, that would be Pluto station ready to go direct, right? There'd be that morning, like, is it nice out here? Is it a beautiful day? Is it? I don't know. And then out of nowhere, oh no! Pluto comes right with Saturn and with Jupiter there to explode it. Like, you know what I mean? Like Pluto's like the phoenix rising with Saturn, and it's like home, like, I have all the plans of control. And Jupiter's like the genie, like I said, under control from Jafar. Like, I must do this, and expand all this crazy crap that I don't want to. And like, that's what Aurora and Prince Philip felt like. It seemed like such a nice, okay day. And then, pinpricked. Although I think there's a lot more than a pinprick going on. Although, it was a spell that she put on Aurora, and it is a spell that has been put on to you by the forces that are trying to act like they're in control. And they are ready to bleep. Yeah, I'm smiling because I'm like, I can only try and bring my own positive laughter to watching them do this, and I know they will fail in the end, but I'm here to tell you, it is the light work that all of us do that is going to be the only thing that prevents this from happening. Here's the exact moment of the full moon, October 1st. You make sure you say rabbit, rabbit. I don't care if you have to write something or if you have to set an alarm. Like, you have to be like a reminder. Hey, Siri, remind me at 10 a.m. I get up late to say rabbit, rabbit. I get up late and say rabbit, rabbit. I didn't have my audio on. But this full moon at 9 degrees. Okay, let's take a look at this. So 9, boy, oh boy. Last degree before the second decan. Ugh. It's a very Martian degree, especially if you should watch Christopher Witecki on YouTube and understand step astrology if you really want, and numerology based off astrology. 9. Uranus 9. This is edgy. And it's like youthful, weak, kind of like not very wise energy. Now, when this full moon happens, it's right with Chiron. 7 degrees. Ugh. Now, there is a positive in that. I would say that moon and Chiron, I was born with it. And no, I wasn't born with Maybelline. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. No, I was not born, and I do not wear any makeup. For real. Hello. But I do want to say that I was born with Moon and Chiron. The one thing especially I've noticed with all Moon Chiron people, and I've met a lot of them are attracted to just my astrology because we all go through the same feeling. That we never feel like we are ever fully emotionally understood, 1. 2, that we never feel that we are ever taken care of, that we have to take care of ourselves all the time. And that nobody ever emotionally will reach our emotional level that we are at, that we feel wounded in that space. So the collective's going to feel that on a full moon in Aries, that there is no comfort emotionally anywhere that you can identify with. Maybe, I'll be honest, my emotional comfort right now is I'm actually really, and this might sound crazy, I'm super happy that Call of Duty Modern Warfare is out there and that they brought season 6 just out until like the new stuff comes out with Cold War. But I'm like, oh, I can at least buy some new weapons and I can at least go play Call of Duty and like run around some new maps. Look at the train is coming right now. That train only runs in the day like twice a week, not even lately, especially since coronavirus, and it's running at night? Oh, this is going to be a crazy week. Mars and Eris meet exactly on the full moon. Now, if you don't know too much about Eris, I've gone very deep and I've told you all about planet Eris. She likes to bring a lot of chaos when nobody's paying attention to the truth. And with Mars retrograde and Malefic, square Saturn, by the way, on this full moon, right? Saturn's at 2520 right there, and look at that big square to Mars. And Eris. Owie mama, this is a stinging full moon emotionally. But it's a release of full moon. So we got to release the victim that we didn't get the emotional stuff that we wanted in life. And especially it's a Libra sun. So guess what? It's going to be dealing with relationship because of the mutual reception. Venus at 28 Leo. Square my moon exactly that day. But remember that Regulus, the fixed star, is right there. And I think it's important to note that that's in Virgo now at 0, 0, 0, 0. It might be 0, 0, 0, 1, but I think it's 0, 0, 0, 0 still. But I will say that it's still Leo. This has got to be the one moment left. And especially since the moon before it went full in Aries on Wednesday was in Pisces at the last degrees, it's like we are all just searching for the fucking, can we get anything positive here? Is there any dawn anywhere? Yeah, of course Aries is the start of the chart, so there is that, the light showing up. But we're desperately looking for it. I think that this is the full moon of like, I will release whatever is not showing up as the golden egg in my life or not showing up to bring me my emotional needs and wants. And feels like chaos and feels like I'm blocked and restricted. Mars, Eris, square, Saturn. But that Venus Leo is in mutual reception to the sun. And the sun is what is in exact opposition to that Chiron and to that full moon. And so we have to allow ourselves to realize that it is through the love of self and the things that you admire and love. It could be the physical realm stuff too. So like I brought up Call of Duty. That's been my jam. I am racing the World Finals next week. So I'm working on my jet skis and stuff. But then the relationship. So this is a love relationship situation of clearing the past, identifications or ego issues. But the craziest part, which is another thing that I haven't mentioned in the channeling, is that the sun at 9 degrees will quincunx Uranus exactly. Oh my God. And the North Node will enter 22, and Pluto at 22 will make a quincunx to the North Node. So look at all these weird quincunxes going everywhere, and even Venus is still quincunx Saturn. And, Venus is finished with the trine to Mars. And so I would say, again, clearing out any subconscious data that has been implanted like a spell, like Maleficent would do to you since October of last year. Because they were setting all this up then. And it was not fun. I don't know if you remember, Jupiter leaving Sag and coming into Capricorn there in November, and how December felt. And I was watching your life go like this. And then January. And then in February, like, I guess down here, just like flounder and wait to see what happens. And then March comes and just with the Mercury, that's the spell. Get everybody down low, get everybody on the ground, and then spell them. We're getting deep tonight. I'm here to wake you up. That's what Uranus is trying to do. At the same time, not only is Uranus going to oppose Mercury, but it's going to quincunx this Sun in Libra. It's time for you to rebalance out your emotional body that has got ego identification, victimization to it. That doesn't feel like it's being taken care of enough. Doesn't feel like it's got even a mother sometimes, right? This brings up mother issues extremely. Brings up feminine issues extremely within yourself. Your divine feminine warrior is going to feel crushed because it's in Aries and the moon is with Chiron, and it's like feeling like mom doesn't show up much. Mom might not even be there inside of you. We all have our mom within us. We all have our divine feminine nature that nurtures and takes care. And this Sun in Libra is trying to say, like, hey, listen. And of course it's in Libra, so it's got an attachment to actual physical presence, people. Which people in our lives do, especially with Uranus, which isn't an exact semi-sextile to this full moon. 9, right? So 9, that's 30 degrees. And Uranus is an exact semi-square over, not semi-square, quincunx over to the Sun in Libra. So it's like we have to look at these radical, weird relationships. Venus is also in Leo, and it is in mutual reception. And this emotional, are we going to continue to go to war against our own nurturing emotional needs because it doesn't look the way that we want it to look? Or do we hold on to things that we feel are unfair and unbalanced and unjust and not, Trust me, I just got royally effed in business recently. I'm just going to keep it and just say that. Tomorrow I have to deal with it. Am I going to end the partnership? No. But I know the injustices that have been done, and I also am not going to carry a victim mentality, even though it does suck when you total it up. And I was not happy before this earlier today, and then I took a shower, I reset, I went, all right, now I know what I got to go deal with. And even though it doesn't look exactly the way I want to, it still offers so much of what I need in order to do what I do. So are you missing out on some of the most beautiful things in your life and still searching, South Node, for the ultimate golden egg? Are you still in that partnership where you're still searching for something and it never came out? And like I said, anybody that you met after Venus, when it went into shadow, after the last week of March of 2020, ain't gonna work. I know you all think I'm crazy. I know you guys think I'm nuts. How's that going for you? How's that going? I bet you it's just beautiful. It's not a wedding crasher moment with Vince Vaughn meeting her. No, it's not. No, it doesn't go that good that quick, and it doesn't go into that happiness like that. No, it does not. So maybe you finally have to drop that, realize that. Gee, am I really still trying to fix all this crazy stuff with people I met in a crazy Venus period that was not meant for it all? Nobody wants to listen, though. That's what I'm trying to say, is because that could be an implant from the dark, trying to throw you off from who you are. Because the Pluto direct motion is coming on Sunday. This full moon I could sit here and do a whole show on, just 4 hours on it, because it is not, it also is it's the exact preparedness, 2 weeks in exact, for the worst new moon we will see in our lives in Libra relationships. So do you want to deal with all that crazy crap now, or do you want to like get pummeled while they're going to do the same thing that they did to you at the end of last year, where they started going, take you down, and then Maleficent's like, cuss, and she's got her crow with her, and she's like putting on the green fucking smell, and she's got a, you know, like a pinprick. Hey, it might be something that small that could take you down. Could be somebody in your life too that's trying to come in that's not really from where you think. You remember last year in Alien Babies? What about alien people? How's your life going when those alien people come around? Is it going better? Mercury in Scorpio is going to tell you that, would you know, on this full moon? A lot going on with relationships. A lot going on with our needs and our wants too in that area and that vibe. But I will say that, you know, we have to uncover and we're trying to find that ultimate supreme love, relationship stuff. But a lot of it has to do with, are you willing to let go? I was born with Moon and Chiron. It sucks. My whole life I have to let go of things that, you know what, man, I thought I was that great. And I'm not talking about just relationships, just things in life that got me to here. Was learning to take care of myself. Learning that I had to be my own mom. And I think, you know, that's why I feel bad because my mom is the most amazing mom and I'm very lucky and she was very nurturing, very loving. But I kind of was like, I want the fuck out of the house. I don't want to go to college. I don't want to go to a job. I want to go to the military. I want to have my own life. I want to have my own bedroom. I want to have my own world. I want to have my own car. My parents didn't buy me a car. I was like, I want my own life to take care of my own self, to get the things that I want in my life. If you are in a position where you're holding on to, well, this brings me some sort of satisfaction emotionally to comfort me, but it's not comforting you and it's not doing anything in your life, leave it. I was working at Gallup poll the week before I joined the Navy. I joined the Navy a week after my 18th birthday. And I would call people and be like, hello, I'm doing a survey for Nabisco. Do you like Ritz crackers better? Do you like that? You know what I mean? Like, and they were just all hanging up on the phone. I'm like, I'm doing this so I could, because my mom's like, you gotta have a job, you gotta go to school if you're gonna live in this house. You know what I mean? Every mom says that to get their kids, right? Unless I guess the kids are like silver spoon kids. But for me, it was like, no, you have to have a job, you have to be going to school if you're gonna live in this house. Right when I graduated high school, which that didn't go down well. I did graduate, but 110 detentions. Don't know how I got away with that one. But I can tell you that I knew right away. I know that this is satisfying my mom so I can live at the house and be cool, but I'm not making enough money to even woo a woman, let alone even woo myself, right? You know, I think it was like $5 and $4.75 an hour or something like that. And like you also had to make a certain amount of calls that were more than a minute long. and then it was like, I was like, what am I doing? So this is going to be what am I doing? Am I providing an injustice to myself by who I connect with, by what things I connect with, that are not part of the story of my balance, my harmony, and with Venus and Leo on Regulus, my regality and the royalty that I deserve for myself to feel good. If you're still that person and you're not going to listen to the advice I gave you that everybody after March of 2020 is just a fucking charade that you've never met before, go ahead and go through the hell of that. Go through the hell and let the fucking Maleficent spell and her fucking weird crows, or if you want to use another analogy, the Wicked Witch, and use all of her weird monkeys. Those are what they are. And last thing on this full moon, Pluto, 22, right, with that quincunx to that north node. Are you going to make life and death changes, the death card, in order to get the exact reality that actually feels like the true resonance with your soul and the environment that will make you feel like at least there is some stimulation to it and it actually feels like it is stimulating enough to at least feel positive? Or are you going to deny yourself and are you going to octopus tentacle yourself away from that and go into the plans of a maleficent worldly, hidden agenda that has sent its agents, just like fucking The Matrix, the movie, after you. And they could be right there wrapped up in your emotion, just like the two snakes like I'm talking about today. So, I hope that woke you up for this. That's what this full moon is, maybe 10% of it. I will be doing spiritual dance music tomorrow night on Thursday night to help you understand better. Let's move on to Friday. So that moon doesn't get just full on Chiron, but it's going to remain full and meet with Aries and Mars in the exact at 24 square Saturn and Pluto. This is not fun. Not fun. It's not fun. It's not going to be easy. The sun comes to 10 degrees, so we come to the second decan of Libra. And so now it's like, I need to go square off with Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn over the next 2 weeks. While that new moon's going to be brewing, while that you saw already that Jupiter and Saturn about to come together in the Helio. Can you already see the setup at this moment? Can you already see the setup of the moon with Aries and Mars being emotionally frustrated and mad and upset? If you're gonna fall for that spell, because that Pluto was just 2 days away from coming direct, more like a day and a half actually, because it's 6 a.m. Pacific Sunday. If you don't wake up by this moment, I don't know what else is left for people out there to not fall for the ultimate. Put it this way, there's an underground in the astrology of astrologers. We talk to each other. I don't know one astrologer that's the real deal, that is not prepared for the most hidden, crazy agenda to come after the collective ever than starting this Sunday. I'm not being a whistleblower, you know what I mean? I'm just being a truther and just letting you know that we all know that this shit's creepy. This is Halloween. Actually, you know what's even crazier is Halloween is some crazy shit too. So, this is like a whole month of Halloween times 10. You know, like, you know when they used to do like on all the, like, I think it was A&E and stuff or whatever, I think AMC, they'd be like, okay, it's October, we're just gonna play horror movies all day, right? It's like, okay, those were all kind of weak. Like, play Halloween, play Night of the Living Dead, play that stuff. This would be like, play the stuff that isn't allowed on TV, crazy crap, you know what I mean? And this is not like Scream the movie, like where it's like, you know, kind of funny. It's for real. And I would say that this is something to pay attention to in yourself, of emotional chaos, of comfort, something to pay attention to. If it's not so comfortable and you keep identifying with something, and it's not part of your path, it's time to let it go. And that's going to be Friday. And that's rough. With Moon square Pluto for the last time in Aries with a Mars retrograde. Yeah. In Aries. We're not going to see that again in our lives. So there is an injection, ironically enough, of a dark force that's already got its way of, I have to use Maleficent. Like, there's something on however she did the spell, but it's almost like the fact that the king and the queen bought the spell and used the 3 fairy godmothers to watch over her, and they're the ones who couldn't hold on to their magic long enough to get the crow to find her. So the whole time, They thought she was safe, but there's only one day that mattered. Only one day, and it was their 16th birthday, and it happens to be the three that you trust, the magical ones, are the ones that are using their magic in such a way that attracts the dark magic. Why didn't she just stay up with the parents the whole time? That's Moon Chiron. You might be looking at somebody as your mother, and they are not. They're dumb fairy godmothers playing around with magic, and they're going to screw you over. If that doesn't wake you the fuck up, I don't know what does. Because all that matters here, and like I said, when Pluto comes direct, it is going to be like off the plank, like flip. Or, no, you're good here. Spirit's behind this, and you didn't bring on. How funny and how the world is today, because what's above as is so below. With testing, Spirit's doing its checks on, did you bring on another being with you that's not supposed to be here? That's the question on this Pluto direct, with the full moon in Aries and the sun in Libra and Venus leaving Leo. Because Venus is leaving Leo. It's after the full moon. What's happening on Friday? Venus comes into Virgo on Regulus. No benefic energy left. Bye-bye. So, that's not too good. It can offer you to make some changes before Sunday, but definitely not going to be fairy-ish. No benefic earth stuff. I mean, it's good. It's good for cleaning up the house. It's good for finding people that are exactly in the same reality as you, but that also could be mirror reflected in the worst way, right? Like, oh gosh, like, we're both heroin addicts? Like, yeah, hell yeah. Like, oh, that's a great entity to bring into your life. So you have to look at this stuff as a very deep mirror reflection, with now the sun at 10 in the second decan of Libra and Venus coming into Virgo, and now watch this. Like I already told you, watch Venus. Oh, is that fall? -4. Remember it just was 6? I'll show you again. On the full moon, it's +6, Venus. And then if you add Jupiter as the other benefic, -2. So it's like we're at a 4, okay, for benefic energy out of, you can see a 10 score out of this, okay? Now, you go -4 + 1, you get a -3. We go 7 points down. 7 is the spiritual number of God in the higher universe. But I would say a spiritual understanding of like, are you really going to do this? The big question was Saturn square Moon, square Mars retrograde, square Aries. Last time we're going to see Mars in Aries, square Saturn in Capricorn, with any significant aspects anymore. Because remember, Mars retrograde's going to go all the way back to 15, and Saturn's on its way out to Aquarius. So this is it. Like, not only the full moon in Aries, but the full moon in Aries the next day on Friday with Aries, with Mars retrograde, squaring over to Saturn Pluto, which is saying, hey, and with Venus in Virgo, and with the sun in Libra, being like, hey, whoa there, bug, whoa there. Are you really gonna go and identify as this as your character and your identity right now? Is that with who? With the sun in Libra, right? And with Venus and Virgo, they're like, oh no, with Regulus there too, because now the ultimate regal, the heart of the lion, has moved into Virgo. It's gonna be nitpicky, like, no, that ain't pure. You might be holding that heart of regality for it, but you sure that's not a freaking turned person to the dark? A person from the dark that came in that's pulling you from your light? A relationship that's just totally trying to throw you off your game? Don't sleep on this one, kids. Jupiter on this day comes to 18. Why is that a big deal? Because Neptune's at 18 now too. So the exact sextile of Jupiter and Neptune have come together. And why? Because that's your only way through this. Is the identity and the character that matches with the destiny and the spiritual destiny of purity and of true understanding of big choices in your life, and not being a little kid, but being a grown soul that sees through the truth and sees through all of everything that is not in alignment with divinity. It's gonna be really fun. And Pluto is retrograde stationary, still quincunxing that north node at 2039. Ironically, just because we're going to bring up, since, I mean, it was the debate just recently, Trump's sun is 22 degrees. It's going to be a very weird week for Trump. And Pluto quincunxes his sun, too. That's his 4th house ruler. So Saturday, the day before, Maleficent walks out, although she's pretty much shown herself from, it's quite opposite, as even though, we have Eve back here and we got the Knights and we got some true divine, beautiful energy going on here with divine feminine. But I'm trying to say, like, it would be like opposite of this. No color, and be like, you'd see this shadow, okay? It was this entranceway and these shadowy figures. And that's that Pluto stationed, because look at Pluto's speed on Saturday. Uh-oh. Ow! -1 second. Uh-oh. Out of time, and I feel like I'm Justin Timberlake with a not even a watch, but a tattooed watch on that says I'm out of time. And if I don't run and I don't get more time from somebody or something, croak. And you don't want to wait, because the moon will be in Taurus for this day with Black Moon Lilith at 1 degree, and will be trining Venus. So it's like, at least you will be able to know, at least the moon comes exalted and adds a little benefic energy to a benefic. And Uranus is there, though, and Mercury now at 6 is getting ready for that opposition. The moon's going to oppose Uranus, and this is where it just becomes where you might have to, like, do your own kind of exorcism. Stigmata is running around. You know what stigmata is? Oh, people. I wouldn't fuck around with this shit. I would not make plans this weekend and just expect some sort of divine natured thing when you know you're running into the ultimate question of, is this legitimately the character and identity and the life I want to connect with, and it is pure, and it is ready for Maleficent to come out, and I am on a boat that is safe from Maleficent's spell. And I am not leaving my boat to go in somebody else's boat that is not in that divine energy. Oh, man. I got some hits coming out today. Where's Rick Dees when you need him? What happened to Rick Dees? What happened to Dick Clark? I don't want Ryan Seacrest doing it for me. I guess my humor's not that funny anymore. Thanks. So, Saturday is a positive day for those that have faced the music, let's just say it that way, and are prepared and have no emotional attachment, because Mercury in Scorpio is like, convincing itself in the mind. Oh, no, it's fine. This is a great boat. But Uranus and Taurus is like, no, it's not gold. It's not gold. You guys are going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. That's Mercury opposed Uranus. I showed you guys the 3D, right? That's building up. Pluto's about to go direct. The full moon with Mars. The Earth and Mars are starting to pass each other. I'm telling you, this is like bad Total Recall. Fucking thing. And this is not one. This is not just a Mars thing. This is like, hold on. Like, let us inject you with this reality. Like you have the choice on whether or not you're gonna like sign that paper and be like, yeah, put my name on it. Like, with the moon in Taurus, you got to be that bull, right? I'm going to just say it. You got to know your value, and you better hold your value. And you better hold your value for a pure and best reality. And you can't fuck around with all this bullshit no more. That's why it's called bullshit, because of the bull, Taurus. Because it's like, no. Especially in opposition to Mercury. That moon and Uranus are like, we are not falling for your tricks, Mercury. Mercury's the trickster, remember. Let's see how Mercury's doing in Scorpio right now. Oh, it is the worst planet, -5. Look at the sun at fall position, -3. Look at Venus at fall, -1. Look at Jupiter. Oh, the Benefic is off. The only thing that you can listen to is the moon and Saturn, and Mars. So the two malefics, that's why I said Maleficent, and why the emotional mother energy. The morning that Aurora woke up on her 16th birthday, they never show in the movie Sleeping Beauty or the story, what was the mom's eyes look like when she woke up that morning? Nobody ever thinks about that. You catching my drift now about your life? Are you paying attention to your soul like that? Or have you thrown your soul into all these little things that are just like, you put them in the fairy goddesses, which let's be, I'm not even talking about literal, I'm just talking about the movie. Or the ones spiritually. I'm talking about the ones in the movie. Like, do you really believe that those three are protectors? I think Philip did a lot more than those goddesses. I think those fairies fucked it up. Pretty bad. You had one job, and the day of, you just start to play with the magic? Like, come on. I think that might be one of those weeks, like Thursday, Friday. I think this whole full moon, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but Saturday's not a full moon. But I think Friday into Saturday might just be that moment where you're like, wow, I just witnessed those little fairy godmothers just ruined this whole thing. Oh my God. Or it could just be like, good, I didn't see anything get ruined here. I know the spell's out there. I'm not going to fall for this spell. And I'm going to find and engage because this is going to be a moment of a split in the collective. I know my destiny. I know where it's going. I'm not fucking going to fuck around with bullshit. I am empowered enough of myself to say no. And the beautiful part of Libra is the judge within oneself. Okay, I am not going to fuck myself over here. I am not going to put myself in an unjust position. I am going to stand my ground for what is fair and what is right and what is of the ultimate harmony for my life. And if I don't do that to myself, and if I have no way to be the judge, and remember, this is the sun still quincunxing over to Uranus and the moon on that Saturday. If you don't hold the value of that court within yourself first, why would God, or I don't even want to say that because I'm not God, I can't say that. But I'm maybe asking it as a question. But why would the highest of all high trust you to go into the destiny of the universe of your destiny, right? It would just be like, well, maybe you need to go replay karma. So let's just get to that day. Sunday, and Saturday. What's that from? Simpsons. It's gonna feel like The Simpsons a little bit. There's something about Springfield that just feels off and weird, and you never know what's going to happen. The sun comes to 11 degrees. Mercury's going to come to 7. So the sun and moon quincunx the exact moment here. So this is the exact moment, 6:32 a.m. Pacific. That would be 9:32 Eastern. And that's going to be about 2 p.m. Europe, and that's going to be about 6 p.m. 12 hours, 6 p.m. Sunday night, Australia. All three are now on. Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. The last time we saw all three on like this, of course, was the end of April. But I would say when they're all three with the Pluto, with the inertia of moving forward all together, there's an inertia energy of the planets, right? Like from Earth's perspective, was October, or sorry, it was actually November of 2019. Okay, so. And that was just Jupiter entering in, and then, you know, we had the eclipses and all that stuff. So, you know, there's remnants of the weird shit you started to go through, especially look at December and January of 2019 into January 2020. A lot of that stuff's going to try and pop back up, and this is where you have to squash it and not be squashed down and be like, one more douse of the spell. Because 2 doses of this stuff, not good. And the only way out is Jupiter-Neptune. Like, it is like your spiritual and your religious, if you have it, but I would call it this new age religious self. The understanding of the embodiment of a full belief system that is not going to screw up for a higher purpose, an abstract from the reality that's just random. It's not just random. And to present you more evidence, on that day, Mars and Aries are finishing in a Mars retrograde conjunction to Aries. The chaos can become big, and Chiron will now be at 6 degrees, so that's Mercury and Chiron making its quincunx as well. A lot of quincunxes. North node Pluto is going to be the big one because Pluto comes direct. We also have Venus here, which, well, I'm going to be honest, Venus really ain't doing too much. So, well, I might be making a septile, actually. But I will say that North Node, that Pluto, with Jupiter and Saturn, this brings up monetary stuff very intensely, too. What you're doing with your money. What do you do with your money? Where does it go? Is it advancing your life? The moon on Uranus? Mercury in Scorpio? Understanding where that goes. Who does it go to? Sun in Libra. And Pluto is it advancing you in a plan that's out there, that's hidden, that's out against the collective, and you included? Does it advance that, or does it just numb the truth out more? Because if you're not willing to look at the truth with North Node and Gemini at 22 degrees, well, I mean, what's the point? This is also a breakthrough number. It equals 4. And 22 is pretty radical, actually, to be honest with you. I was born with my prenatal lunar and solar eclipse exactly in this position. They're actually re-coming back. And I think that's a cycle. I think it was Trump's year, actually, that he was born in his eclipse cycle, because my prenatal lunar eclipse is 22 Sag. So I'm a living example of this eclipse cycle. But actually, this nodal cycle and the eclipses that formed those cycles
And so I can tell you from the seeing of the reality and this truth, I can tell you, I'm born in 84, ironically enough, Orwellian knew this would come, and there's something about 84 that actually was Saturn, Pluto, and Scorpio. And even though I had Pluto in Libra, but I am Pluto, Scorpio now progressed, but I would say that I'm just trying to give you some truth bombs here, folks. Like, wake up. If you're not, there's no more waking up at this point. Ironically enough, go look at the date too. My first horoscope on YouTube, daily horoscope, is April 10th, 2012. And that was exactly now going to be 8.5 years ago, pretty much, because it was Pluto when it retrograded on April 10th of 2012 that I did my horoscope. But I had filmed it prior. And then it went retrograde and brought me everything that's changed my life. Now this is forcing you in like what you've already retained or what you haven't killed will go with you. Ooh. What you haven't disconnected from or cut off cord-wise will be corded with you. And that's what I'm saying. And it's a little bit like the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. When you sit in the captain chairs like this and you go look at the very end, they put a little mirror in the wall. And you're like, I got some buddies with me coming home. That's what they tell you. Are you really sure you're going to bring those buddies with you? Or that buddy, or that person, or whatever? You really want to go through the next 6 months of that same vibe from last year and how it felt at the end of the year coming into 2020? That was gross. That was gross. I don't ever want to taste that shit ever again in my life. Do you? Do you want to go through that again? Up to you. So after that, welcome to Maleficent. Either like, okay, and this is the off with the plank or not. Mercury is now going to be in opposition to Uranus on Monday, 8 to 9. Mars comes off Aries. Mars starts to square Pluto. Pluto is still in quincunx to the North Node. Venus is at 3 degrees. And I mean, honestly, this day's a little bit, with the moon trine Saturn, it's either off with the plank or no, you're too valuable to not go off with the plank on this boat. Or like, this boat's not wanting me on here. Spirit doesn't want me to go here. Jupiter and Neptune still in sextile. So there's a wide open door right now for the good and the evil to come through. Jupiter has to open the door no matter what. And in Capricorn, it's the destiny of both sides. Especially North Node Gemini, and especially with the Sun in Libra, there's a fairness in the universe. And we're also in equal times, right? We are in the equalization of the Sun. The Sun is at the equator. And we are on our way down every day to the underworld as the Sun sets in Set's underworld. From Egypt, Horus, the sun. I hope everybody's prepared. Egypt, everybody, Greece, even Mesopotamia. I mean, everybody's been trying to prepare you for so long. I'm like talking to all the ancestors right now for y'all. Like, I'm just like, come on, remember. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or are you just so lost? Because this is going to be what the real truth is. The spell has been that the world that you bought, that you should be following, and by your time, and by the calendar, and I'm doing this, and I'm going to be doing that, at this time, and all that. If you've lost yourself in that, forgotten the ethereal truth, oh my God, good luck. Let's just move to Tuesday to finish it off, because that's the big bang. Literally. Moon in Gemini, square Venus. Not going to be too fun. Swimming in the waters of craziness with your emotions about people when the green pea soup is all over your face because you didn't perform the exorcism. Or, I don't know, there's some changes in stimulation and reality, although it's going to be a stressful day. Mercury's going to oppose Uranus. Are you going the right direction? Or did you not pay attention to it? Pluto is still in quincunx to that north node, and we also have Mars within 1 degree of squaring Pluto. It will be crazy. The sun and moon will trine later that night, and there'll be some peace if your environment is green pea soup free. To end tonight's segment, I have the Helio for that last day, October 6th on Tuesday. Well, Saturn finally comes to 100, clicks into gear, into Aquarius. Of which dimensional world did you choose? 2, Mercury is now past this stuff. It's almost like, again, like I was trying to show you, during the full moon, it will meet with Pluto. It moves 4 degrees a day. That means on Friday, like I said, it'll be with that right between there with Jupiter, and then we'll meet with Jupiter, Saturn that Friday into Saturday. And so I said, you can't fuck this one up this Friday, Saturday, because it'll be right on top of that. And then Saturn's engaged. Mercury will be here, and Mercury will also be squaring on Monday Uranus in the Helio. Venus in Cancer will be crossing where, in the tropical at least, from the point of view where the comet Neowise came in. And with Venus in Cancer too, are you really comfortable emotionally? And are you prepared to go into the next week where Venus is going to go through Cancer and it's going to start squaring Chiron and Mars and get ready for the oppositions to all the Capricorn? Actually, it'll be coming in Aquarius when it comes into Leo stuff. But it will still oppose that Pluto. Pluto's never been to that far, remember? Remember, nothing goes in retrograde. No retros in this system. And of course, Pluto has never been to 2408 since, gosh, 1774? Something like that. And Jupiter is at the last degree of Capricorn in Helio, ready to meet with Saturn here in Aquarius. So the final plans are all being enacted and all being projected onto the collective and to your life on whether or not you make the right choices, and if whether or not you pay attention, and whether or not you're aware or are you not aware. Mercury becomes a Benefic or a Malefic. And that is up to you, because that Mercury has 2 antennas, right? And it's important to know that Mercury is neutral and will switch to a B or an M. And it has switched to an M in the Dharma of the universe. But at the other token, if you just follow Mercury from what we're going to see this week, right? As it is in Scorpio, it's in Scorpio, it's in the underworld. It's in the sign of unearthing your shadow all week long, and coming to the last day on Tuesday when I just showed you that the plans are on, shit's going down, and Jupiter's about to leave Capricorn. Mercury opposes Uranus exactly and stations at 11 degrees by October 13th. That means it's going to just be sitting in opposition to Uranus for weeks here, and we are all going to feel on edge. We are all not going to be getting information that's going to be from left, right, whatever. And that's why I'm saying you must do your best job in your life to eradicate all energies that are not divine in your life. Because the only thing that can, I don't want to even say save, that will get you through this is the divine. And things that are not divine, things that don't want to show up in the divine, things that want to make that second, third, fourth, fifth place in life, you're going to trust whatever's in front of that over putting that first into your life? While there's pirates that are here to take you off the plank of your destiny and take over your ship? Don't fall for it. Don't get manipulated. Don't manipulate yourself. That's the number one thing. And don't fall for the spell. Because Maleficent and the Wicked Witch and Jafar, as a all-powerful, I think he put himself as like an all-powerful magician before he became a genie, which didn't work out for him too well, are all hanging out together, hanging out to come after you, who are not in the divine and don't know how to see them and don't know how to see the truth and don't know how to see the plans. And Pluto is testing your North Node Gemini in your mind. And Mercury is subdued in the Maleficent energy, in Malefics, and in both systems. And I just showed you how these both systems are operating right now. So maybe if you want to learn astrology better, you can get this last, end of my sale here, the Ride the Wave sale on highvibe.tv or highvibetvschool.com. Or you can go to highvibe.tv, click on schools, 1, 2, and 3 tiers, and of course my Love Masterclass. And you can also get my business e-commerce spiritual school all in one for a cheap rate. We also just added a class with Erica Othen. She's doing a Beyond the Star or Beyond the Planets, and she's going into all the asteroids, all the star systems, star seeds, so much other stuff that I don't cover. Like, I'll be honest, like, I know the star stuff and all that, but as far as connecting to it with you and running all these other asteroids and all these other things, I don't teach all that stuff. I teach, I'm a big Chiron person, and I can hang out with Juno, I can hang out with like Vesta a little bit, but like, once I get a little, I don't, I'll be honest, I think it's much more of a divine feminine thing. My divine masculine kind of is like, I'm the meat and potatoes. And so Erica's got this awesome course that starts on October 13th on highvibe.tv. So make sure you check that out. And it's of course on highvibetvschool.com. And sign up for it. And it's 8 weeks long. It's gonna be awesome in the same format that I did my Love Masterclass. So if you enjoyed that, you will 100% enjoy this. I appreciate you all so much. I'm sending you the best. I'm praying for everybody and for the collective. And divinity is our way through this right now. And knowing that you're light and knowing that it is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because whatever is uncomfortable is not divine. And so this is where we have to go through uncomfort to be honest with ourselves and ask the highest of highs and ask our highest self and ask all things around us if it is coming from that pure space or not, or if it is going to be part of our ship sinking. I love you all very much. There's not too many life rafts out there, so don't sink your own ship. And I'll see you in the next report.